Morning, how's it going? Um, or good whatever time of day it is where you are. It's morning where I am. Uh, what's today? Today is a day to click several buttons and then get to work, as is most days. Um, I I don't know exactly what I'm going to do today, but I do have a long list to work from. So let's click over to screen cam and we can start looking at. Actually, hold on, I'm just going to move the graphics. I'm going to make the graphics look stupid for a second. Alright, there we go. And then, so, yeah, let's go here and start looking at this list of things that we have to do. So on-screen GM dialog, I think is basically done. I think we basically finished that yesterday. I think we're basically, I'll stop saying basically, but I think we're good there. So I'm gonna put that over here until I have a reason not to have it there. And then what's wrong with voice maths? We actually fixed that yesterday. I just forgot to move it over here. Requeue players, yeah. Okay, so here's some of the things that I want to get to today. Requeuing players if we're still waiting for their name. This is a pretty simple change, but it was one that this is part of the list that came out of the the testing that I did over the weekend. So let's do what? We'll say so control F. Let's go down to the section with like the DQ and yeah. So this stuff. What's happening right now? The DQ. No, I guess the DQ is kind of fine. We don't have to. It's the level queue and the action queue. It's specifically okay. So there's some reasons that a player will get queued to walk across the screen, and in those cases, we don't want the player to walk across the screen until we actually have their name tag ready. So the level, the level queue, the action queue, and the join queue, I think are all those cases. So the first thing that we're gonna do is um, oh, okay. So, right. So this when we check if they're in the parade or not. This else case where we, yeah, no, okay. So it's actually right. So right, we have this case. Is this player already in the parade? And if this player is already in the parade, then we re-add them. We're actually going to expand that check. It's going to be if the player's in the parade, or and what is this? Or if name tag, or what would it be? It'd be G player dictionary, uh, G player dictionary index CDD this adventure, um, dot name tag equals, is it name tag? Is that the value that I'm looking for? There's a value that whereby we keep track of like whether, like what state, like should we be showing should we be showing the player's name tag, and if so, how should we be showing the player's name tag? So I think this is the value, and specifically, I guess is it that we're only we're literally only accepting values equivalent to 2, or is it that, yeah. Yeah. So okay. So if their name tag value is equivalent to 0, then it shouldn't. Their name tag value shouldn't be equal to 0 if they're in the level queue. No, that's not true. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say so if CDD in parade or G player dictionary name tag equals 2. No, 1. 1. Right, no, the case where we want to re-add them to get queued up again is if it equals 1. Because that means that in the, hey, Cheeseman Panda, how's it going? Yeah, I've updated all the text in the game. So you'll notice it looks, a lot of the text in the game looks different now. Um, yeah, a lot of it. So in the case that name tag equals 1, this is the case where the player should have a name tag, but we haven't, fetched their name yet. We don't know how to display their name properly. And that's the case where we want to wait, like hold off. So this else case though, I guess in the case that like in the case that the player is still lurking, which can happen, I think we actually just want to. No, I was gonna say we actually just want to discard it, but I think I already do that checking in advance. I think I don't even add the player if they're lurking value, like if they're still lurking. So I don't need a filter for that here. So I think it's literally just checking if the name tag equals 1. Then we'll requeue. Let me, yeah, so name tag equals 1. That's that is the value. Oh no, sorry, not name tag. No, it's lurking equals 1. It's if lurking equals 1. Right. Because that means they're trying to come out of lurking, but they're not out of lurking yet. Right. No, name tag is a different value entirely. Yeah. Okay, so, right. Okay. So lurking equals 1. Because lurking doesn't equal 2 until we actually get their name tag back from the, excuse me, it doesn't happen until we actually, yeah, so that, sorry, if a player would come out of lurking, but they don't have a name yet, then they go into lurking equals 1. And we should have them queued up. Huh. I mean, hypothetically, a player could get stuck in this queue if, like, we never get their name. Um, so, yeah, what do I do there? I guess, um, oops, sorry. I guess I could just, filter it out so that if a player, like, gets queued up twice and we still don't have their name, then, like, no, I don't know. I mean, like, there are a few reasons that could happen. Either their name is still queued up and we just haven't fetched it yet, or we can't get their name. Actually, yeah, what happens in the case that we fail to get a player's name? I'm curious, because I think at this point we just don't send a message, but I think what we'll actually want to do is we'll want to send a message indicating that it was unsuccessful. And then maybe just put the player back into like lurking or something, like put them back into lurk mode. Um, or I mean, the alternative is that we could just kind of do like what so like what Better Twitch TV used to do is it would just uh, it would just display the name uncapitalized because we have the name uncapitalized. Like the reason we're fetching the name is to show the proper capitalization, but like I mean we can do what Twitch does. We can do like what every other like we can just default to something, right? Like it's not that we literally have to like not show that information. Um, so I don't know. Um, I guess. I guess. Maybe it would just be better to like default to, like, showing the name slightly incorrectly. Um, I don't like that. I don't like that approach. I really just don't. It's just disrespectful. But like, it's arguably more disrespectful to just like not show that player's data altogether just because we haven't gotten their name correct. Um, so, which is the worst case, I guess? Like, which is the lesser of two evils? In this case, I'm inclined to just say we can just show incorrect capitalization, I suppose. The thing about that, though, is when I show incorrect capitalization, like, I tend to prefer to show the all caps case. Um, and I feel like that'll look weird, though. It'll, like, call unnecessary attention to it, maybe. So, maybe I'll just do, like, maybe I'll just do, like, what the rest of the world does, which usually annoys me, where you just capitalize the first letter and have the rest of it lowercase. Um, Man, I don't know. It's just not like none of the options are very good. So yeah, I'll just use like the the stupid case. I don't know if there's a term for that, but like when the first letter is capitalized, I'll use the stupid casing. Not like correct casing, not upper casing, not lower casing, just like stupid casing. Um, so yeah, so instead of what we just did, let's back that out and so we'll always add the player to the parade. The difference will be that when we add a player, so when we do the add player, not when we process it, but when we send it out, yeah, if the player doesn't have a name, right now what we do is, so if the player's name equals, oh no, if the name not equals blank. Oh, yeah. No, so instead we'll check if the player's name equals blank, and then we'll just okay, so what are we gonna do here? Yeah, because okay, so we'll say so like send name. Should we? No, I won't update the name on the data thread. I'll only update it on the graphics thread. We'll just send like a temporary name to use in the case that we don't have their real name. Okay, so send name is going to equal player dictionary name.name, and then so then we'll say if send name equals the empty string, then instead we'll just say send name equals what it'll be. It'll be name index 1 or index 0, the first letter of name, dot upper, because we'll just uppercase it for no particular reason. Plus the rest of the name, so indexed from the first character onwards. Yeah, and the rest of the name is already lowercase, so we don't have to say like dot lower or anything. And then so that yes, now we don't have to do like this if player name blah 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 business. We just say we just unindent this and we say so instead of oh yeah, I guess we don't technically want to set the name width. Huh. Yeah, no, okay, so we will have this. We will have some of this in the else case, right? Because, so cut that. Because we do want to update the player's name width on this. Wait, do we even have to? No, why would the data thread actually care about the name width? We only have to send that through to the graphics thread. It's only the graphics thread that actually cares about the name width. It's not like we save that data. It's not like we use that data in any other scenario. We send it over to the graphics thread, and then the graphics thread uses it. So, no, there's no reason to preserve that data. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of name width from this thread. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say like name width equals blah 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 whatever. And let's get rid of most of the references to .name width, at least the ones on the data thread. So player dictionary. Oh, is it because we set it in different places? Is that like why we keep track of it? Ah, no, I really don't feel like there's a reason that we ever keep track of it. Like we might recalculate it in different places, but there's. Well, let me see how I'm using it, I guess, before I jump the gun with getting rid of it. No, that's the only place I used it. Yeah. So, no, that's not necessary. Okay. Yeah, so what am I doing with name width here? I'm just like setting it and I'm not doing anything with it? That seems weird. Um, how could I set it and just not do literally anything with it? That seems weird. And pointless. Like, what am I supposed to be doing with this here? So for one thing, it won't be, has my beard grown? Probably. It won't stop. For some reason, every day, it just keeps having grown from, like, what it was the day previous. I don't know what's up with it. Um, so, alright, so, yeah, what was the point of calculating name width if I'm not actually doing anything with it? Oh, n width. Oh, I was just doing the wrong thing with it? No, n width equals text width, new name, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so I can just get rid of this. Right. I was just updating it because I felt I should, I guess. Okay, so yeah, so we're sending it through NWidth. Good. Yeah, so where are these other places that we were keeping track of name width? Right, so again, here we don't need it to be an aspect of the player because all we're doing is just sending that through, and then we don't care about it anymore. Okay. So then, okay, so we are referencing it here, but again, we're probably just referencing it here because out of like a sense of obligation. Yeah, we just set it here, and then we don't actually do anything with it. So, yeah, we can get rid of that. Okay, but that's not what I came here to do. What I came here to do was to back up where we were adding the player to the system. So name width. Actually, I'm gonna change this to NWidth just for consistency. So send name. So yeah, send name. If send name equals blank, then we'll set send name equal to like blah 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 whatever. And so then we'll set NWidth to be text width of send name. In font character set, and then when we send through this, we won't send it through as name. We'll send it through as send name. Where is it that I queue up the graphics or the web message? Where is it that I queue up the web message to fetch the player's name? Because I feel like that should have been in here somewhere. This is where I send the graphics messages. Where do I actually send the web message? Web messages dot put. Yeah, here it is. So when they come out of lurking, yeah. If the player's name value is blank, name to fetch is blank, and then if the so we always want to fetch the Twitch name, not the Twitter name. So we figure out what name to fetch, and then we fetch that name, and then so then we queue up the web message. Okay, so then so the other thing I wanted to do was that I wanted to send a failure message to the graphics thread to let the graphics thread know if we're never going to get the player's name. If the player's actually, do we even have to do that? No. Now that we're sending through a temp name, we don't really have to let the graphics thread know, because if the graphics thread never gets a new name, it'll just keep the temp name. What does the command global in Python mean? Python has really weird concept of scoping. If you there's no you can't declare like a variable to be private because like, well, no, okay, so it's weird. Like in like C languages, if I have like int like thing or whatever, and then I have like like void like function or whatever, I can refer to like I can say like thing equals 5, right? And like it knows what thing is, right? In Python, if this was Python, if I had like thing equals 0 and then like def function, then if I said like thing equals 5, it's talking about a different thing. It doesn't know that this is the same thing. Like it doesn't recognize that like I'm trying to address like this thing that I've already defined. And like, so what if this thing is getting used elsewhere? Like what if thing like drives like some other system like that we have in the project? In order to edit this thing, instead of like fabricating a new thing to edit, you say global thing, and now it knows that you're not you don't want a new thing. You want to reference the thing that you already had. Yeah, like if it's in a function or if it's like, I actually don't understand what exactly are the circumstances, because like Python actually, like from my experience, it's been really inconsistent as to like when you actually need to say global and when you don't. But like it's in like some of those cases that you need to do it because Python just has difficulty keeping track of those things on its own. I don't know. Python has really weird scoping. It's like maybe it makes sense to people who learned Python first, but like to people who like, as someone who did not learn Python first, like it's just really weird. So okay. Let's let's do what then? Um, yeah, well, keep on asking questions if you like. I'm happy to to impart what information I have. Okay, so this actually I think is fine now. It wasn't necessarily the solution that I was picturing, but like I think this is the least bad solution. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh, you know what just occurred to me is no, I guess it doesn't really matter. But like I'm sending like hypothetically a Twitter player, like I'm sending their name through as like a Twitter player can't come out of lurking, so I don't really have to worry about it. But like hypothetically, I'm sending through Twitter players' names as like this weird string of numbers, and like maybe I shouldn't do that. I like lurking is a very specific, explicit thing. Like you can't come out of lurking just by having a name. You have to like literally get the like lurking command in order to come out of lurking. Um, oh, so this, so yeah, actually the whole lurking state of one, I kind of got rid of that. Um, but yeah, it is based on the it is entirely separate. So like just because a player has a name doesn't mean they're not lurking. Right. That'd be silly to think otherwise. And like a Twitter player just can't come out of lurking. Like you need to be in Twitch to come out of lurking. I might change that at some point, but for now, that's fine for me. I feel. I mean, the other thing I could do is I could just like actually start showing Twitch or Twitter names. Um, of course, that brings up the question of like, what do I do when a player has linked accounts? Like, then they have two names, and which name do I show? So I could still like default to the Twitch name, but then show the Twitter name. In other cases, I don't know. I I'm fine with how it is for now. And I hit on that point that I wanted to uh, cover, which was the like the issue here that I was thinking I would like solve by requeuing players was just that some players would walk across the screen and we'd never see their name tag because their name just wasn't ready, and so it'd be kind of pointless to send them across the screen when we could have sent a player who had their name. Um, I I mean I might want to use the I might want to do both or something. Like I might want to. Nah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was just gonna say like I could give players like another chance. Like if someone like gets queued and we don't have their correct name yet, then we could requeue them once in hopes that we'll have their correct name by the second time they go across. And then if we don't have it by the second time, um, then we could just send them across anyways. Um, I'll see how I feel about this, and this might be fine for now. I don't know. It's gross though. It'd be nice. It'd just be really nice if I could get that data in like a not gross way. But unfortunately, gross ways are the only ways that we have to do it. Um, whatever. Uh, um, hmm. Maybe I should keep track of like the stupid name on both threads. Like maybe I should like the thing where I like so yeah, right now I'm like setting like send name to be like this other thing. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just like say if the players. Yeah, so maybe the difference will be that we don't save the data value of like the player's new name. Like maybe that'll be what we do differently. Um, yeah. So we'll say send name equals player data. Okay, so instead what we'll say is if we'll say if player dictionary name dot name equals blank, then so if it equals the empty string, then we'll say player dictionary name dot name equals uh, this upper lower business that we had going on here, and then we don't have to set send name to equal that. We can just say uh, yeah, we can now just get rid of all of this, and we can say so now instead of saying send name, we will go back to using name.name. The difference is that we just won't save that out, and we don't have to worry about saving that out by accident, because the only times that we actually ever save it are when we have it correct, I believe. Actually, let me check in web messages though. Oh, wait. Actually, oh no. And so wait, I'd actually want to. No. Wait, no. If I do this, I do have to change how I'm queuing up those web messages, uh, because this would give the appearance that right, because we only queue up those web messages when a player comes out of lurking mode, and when a player comes out of lurking mode, we we check whether they have a name in order to determine. Yeah, so I guess if I do it this way, I will have to keep track of. So wait, maybe I in fact don't want to do it this way. Is there any particular reason? It was just occurring to me that like this string manipulation thing, like the first letter upper, like the rest lower, like that's technically something that I'll want to be doing on the data thread as well, because like there are times on the data thread where I actually want to reference a player's display name. Um, so I don't know. Um, uh, yeah, I guess I just have to add like another flag as to whether we know their real name or not. We'd need some other indicator as to whether this is actually the player's real name, or if we need uh, a different name for the player. Um, so yeah, for now I'll just not do it this way. I'll just keep send name for now. No. Nah. Ah. No, this isn't gonna happen very often. Ideally, this wouldn't happen very often. So, no, whatever. All right, I'm gonna keep track of the separate value. All right, so on the player dictionary where we're defining name, we'll also define Oh, that's not a good search. Let's go to the place where we've defined our adventure. And so we'll have like stupid scrolling. Scroll better. So we'll have name width, and we'll have name width is not a real thing. I got rid of name width. We'll have name, and we'll have like like name real, I guess, equals false initially. And so only when we get the player's real name will we set name real to be true. Um, yeah. So okay, and then so where are the cases that we have to set name real? We have to set name real in the case that we load in and set the player's name. So uh, right. So if we're setting it from if we're loading in that data, then that means the name is real. So name equals blah blah blah. Name real equals true. Save that, and then um, where else? And then so if we're getting it from the link data, then this is another case where player dictionary name equals, why is there an extra space there? I don't know. Name underscore real equals true. Yeah, and then so down here, here we can just say if not name real, uh, then actually no, maybe I will go by whether it's the empty string. Because hypothetically, if like a player's real name is the empty string, then like, well, that's no good. What do I do with that? If a player's real name is the empty string, it's kind of a problem. Um, I don't think that would ever happen though. I mean, I could make that happen accidentally if I misused my. No, I was gonna say I can make that happen accidentally if I misuse my control panel, but I don't think that's actually true. No, wait, could I? No, I guess I could if I added like an extra space character by accident. Uh, hmm. Oh, speaking of the name, I might just want to take out the rename command. No, I should like tune up the rename command just so that I can't accidentally do that. And then I can go by like whether the name is real. So yeah, so if not name real, uh, if not name real, then we'll say name equals upper blah blah blah, and so then the other time that we set name to be, to equal real or like set yeah, so when we do our web message thing, um, oh, what is this? No, this is events. Events also have names. Player dictionary name equals. So okay, so again, yeah. So instead of saying if name equals blank, we can say name real. So if not name real, uh, then we do all these things, and then yeah. So also when web messages, right? So we get the name, and then so where's the other place? The other so we send it out to be to fetch. We fetch, we want to figure out what the name is, and then we get the name back eventually too. Uh, oh, oh, this is not directly related. This is like kind of something else. Player dictionary name dot name not equal blank. Yeah, this one's fine. We actually do want to check that it's not blank. Or actually, no. Actually, at this point, we don't have to. We just don't have to run this check anymore. We can just, because if it. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's a little awkward. Yeah, so we keep track of the GM display name. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. No, you know what? I shouldn't do that anymore. I should get rid of GM display name. I'll do it right now, but I'll make a note to myself. Get rid of GM display name because that was just before I had like the correct capitalization, like before I even tried to get the correct capitalization. And now that we're getting the correct capitalization, I'll just use the correct capitalization that we already have instead of keeping track of this other value. Um, so yeah, we can just well, I'll leave that for now, and I'll come back to it when I'm getting rid of the GM display name. Uh, no, actually, I can get rid of this now. Um, yeah. Although now the GM display name is going to be blank, so that's going to do weird things. But so name equals. Okay, so here's where we process the update name, and so we say name equals ND message index 2, and then yeah. So the one thing that we have to do though is we have to handle the case where ND message. So if ND message index 1 in player set, then we'll say if actually yeah, there's a lot of the stuff that we only really have to do in the case that ND message index 2. Like what happens if this comes back bad? Like what happens if we try and add a player that like doesn't have valid data? I wonder. I could test that real quick. I'm not in a state to test it just yet. I'll test it in a minute. So for starters, I'll just say, just so I don't forget to do it later, I'll just start by saying like name real equals true. We'll just assume that it is working. We'll just set it up as if it will work, which it won't necessarily, but we'll see. Okay. So save that, and then I think those are the only places that we actually set the name real. Oh no, there's one other place, which is hypothetically in the so this is all name tag stuff. This is all name tag. Okay, I'm just gonna jump back up to the top of the script because there's also the place where yeah we set it based on the GM command. So in this case we'll want to say Control D So I want to say player dictionary index name dot name real equals true. Okay, so now let's error check our web messages, or let's see what happens with our web messages. Yeah, I'm just gonna so where is it? Trusty Bard admin. I'm just gonna add in another character with like an invalid name. So like just one. I'm pretty sure one is gonna come back as an error. So let's see what that does when I restart the script. Um, so add player. Oh, you know what? I think I used like the character one before. The character one might already have like data, like name data. Oh, so I guess I can actually just check that. Oops, where did I go? Wrong folder, wrong drive. Projects, journey. So players, the player named one does not have a name. So I guess we should have gotten that. Huh. Oh, maybe we just never send it. Maybe we just never send the update name command in the case that we don't get a valid name. Let's look into that. Web messages dot get. If the length of web data index I is greater than 16 and web data blah blah display name. Okay, so yeah, we just never send the message in the case that we never get the message. And that's fine. That is actually a fine way to deal with that. Because then we'll just use so the character is just showing up with the name of one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's weird. What character is that? That's me. And now it's showing up. I'm showing up as my Twitter handle for no particular reason. What changed there? What the heck? Why didn't it use my real name? Why did it use my Twitter handle? Sorry, I'm just restarting the script. So Trusty Bard works fine. Oh, except it's lowercase. It's not using Trusty Bard's real name. What the heck? What the heck? Dude, maybe I have that backwards. Maybe I'm actually like the name real thing. Maybe I'm running that case backwards. Like when we add the player. If not name real. The heck? It's acting as if name. It's acting like this is evaluating for Trusty Bard and me. Like that's the only explanation for why that would be happening. But we're very clearly setting name real equal true in the case that we load in the name data, which is the case for Trusty Bard and myself. It's like, neither of these are working for some reason. Oh, it's because I have it indented too far. Yeah, I have it in. I accidentally put it inside the case where we have to truncate the name, whereas it's not supposed to be in the truncation case. All right, so now let's run it again, and now it'll show Trusty Bard and my name correctly, and everyone's name correctly. It would have showed everyone's name incorrectly before. Trusty Bard, okay, it's gonna show my name correctly now. We'll see in just a moment. Come on, yeah, there it goes. Okay. All right, subtle distinction. All right, so did I do that? Did I do the same thing in the other name real case? So no, that one's fine. If not name real, no, that's fine. Okay, and this is fine too, because we don't have to worry about like overly long names in this case. Actually, overly long names, like I probably just shouldn't be doing that in the first place. The overly long name thing, like the whole thing about like when we load a player, we check if their name is too long. Like I should just not be saving out bad length names. Yeah, because that's just unnecessary. Um, That's just unnecessary. And because the only reason we could get a bad length name is if something weird happened. um, I mean, I guess it's not that bad to have that check there. Um, but it is superfluous. Yeah. So no, this is just a case where like instead of like doing the overly cautious thing, I should just do it right in the first place. Because otherwise, like I really shouldn't. I don't know. I'm starting to think about a lot more about like performance and like optimization, and so like things that like I don't know. Like there's no reason that I have to account for like overly long names because I can control all the names that go into this system. It's like entirely deterministic. Uh, so here, right, here is the place where, oh, and I'm doing it already. I'm already truncating comlines 2 down to comlines 2 indexed up to the 25th character. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. Because we're using new name, and new name is already truncated down to the 25th character as needed. Okay. So, good. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, so I'm going to get rid of GM display name, because we can just use the GM's name now. Let's look at all the references to GM display name. Yeah, so we can just get rid of this. So any place we're setting GM display name, we can just get rid of, and then every time we're referencing GM display name, we can just use the, oh yeah, so get rid of GM display name. Get rid of GM display name. And then instead, yeah, so instead of referencing it, we can just say GM name. So we can just say oh, what about the case where the player leaves? Yeah, what if the player leaves? I guess I'll just make sure that I don't use the GM display name if the player has left already. Um, uh, yeah, I just won't use it if the player's left already. So so this is a fine time to use it because we've already. Yeah, so here we can say so it'll be player dictionary index name or index GM name, excuse me. GM name dot name, and same here. Wait, what is this? Do now 2 equals. Oh yeah. It's not a big deal. It's whatever. Okay. Replace this, and then all right. Where else? So that's when we're adding in the. That's when the GM is getting crowned. So that's a safe assumption. Well, I mean, actually, I could play it safe if I wanted to, like, because like hypothetically the GM could leave, um, between like when that command goes through and like, uh, so if do now 2 is greater than 1. Wait, do now 2 is greater than 1? What does that mean? Alright, I'm just gonna say if do now 2 is greater than 1 and what, do now, or GM name in, or GM name in, player set. Right, because if the GM name is not in the player set, then we can't reference it out of the player dictionary, and we also, like, we don't want to crown a GM that doesn't exist. That'd be silly. Okay. Sure. I don't know why we're checking for do now index 2 is greater than 1. Like, because as far as I can tell, it does literally nothing in the else case. Oh, no, there is an else case. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So actually, right. Nope. So I can't put this in like if player set business like here. I need to say uh, yeah, how's this gonna work? I guess I'll just do this because there'll be like different things that I'll want to do in different cases. So I'll say if wait, what? No, if GM name in player set, then we'll do all this stuff that we normally do, like in terms of like crowning the GM. Whoops! I always hold down Tab instead of holding down Shift, which is a really bad habit to be in. All right, no. If GM name in player set, Tab. So in the else case here, is that I don't know. I'll just like print like GM GM not or GM name not in player set or whatever. Just very direct, whatever. And then right. So in the case that we're saying that we're uninitializing the GM, like where the GM is departing, we'll say so we'll only bother doing like the I will take the lead now thing in the case that so if GM name in player set, yeah, it's like in this case, like most of it's actually the same. The only thing that changes is whether Trusty Bard says like this thing or whether it just happens silently. Yeah. Okay. Because we don't necessarily want to crown someone GM if they don't exist, but we do want to uncrown them GM. We do want to clean up after them if they don't exist. And I think sometimes this will be happening because they don't exist. So, yeah. Okay. So right. So let's look for. Oh yeah, and so again, we're still replacing all of the references to GM display name with oops. No. No. Stop doing that. Paste. Yeah. So replacing that stuff with that, and then getting rid of these, and good. So I think there are probably a few more. Yeah, so again, GM display name. So if GM active, kick GM. Wait, what? Yeah, when do we kick GM? Kick GM is when the GM is like legit gone, I think. Let me just double check. Where is it that we're calling kick GM? So we schedule kick GM. If kick GM equals true, and then we check if it's not already in the schedule. So wait, what is this? Wait a second, what? Why are we kicking the GM on the hail? Oh, if not GM active. Wait, no, why are we kicking the GM on the hail? Oh, no, we're just scheduling the kick GM, and it happens, like, pretty far in the future. Right. Okay. Okay, so it's just for AFK cases, I think? Because if, oh, no, we do also use it for when the, yeah. We also use it for when the GM leaves. And we schedule the kick GM. Wait, do we? Oh, no. No, if the GM leaves, we do something different. Okay, so actually for kick GM, we actually can assume the presence of the GM in the dictionary. Or else, like, if the players, if we get the kick GM, like, if it occurs and there is no, if the player's not in the player dictionary, then we can probably just assume things are okay. Or at least, this will be another case where the only thing that really changes is whether we say the name out loud or not. Because, like, that's, like, the intended case here, is that, there's the... I think my device just died. Whoa. Sorry. To get distracted, my device just, like, died for some reason. I don't know what that was about. But... no, right, so the only reason we say that message is so that if the GM, like, is curious, like, what just happened, then And so if the GM's not there, we don't have to say what happened. Okay, so let's go back up to that place that we were looking at. Yeah. So again, it'll only be so if GM active, we'll say if GM name in player set, then we'll do this. But we won't use GM display name. We'll use player dictionary GM name. Blah blah blah. And then right. So let's continue on. Whoops. Oh yeah, no, I'm not looking for that anymore. I'm looking for this again. So this is probably going to be the same thing. It's going to be like, yeah, nudge GM. Oh, well, in this case, in the nudge case, the GM should be here. So, yeah, right, because if the GM's not here, then, like, we should just be getting rid of stuff altogether. I mean, I could even just, like, I could say if do now index 1 equals kick GM or GM not in player dictionary. Oh, no. Oh, no, you know what? I actually have a slight tolerance for the GM to leave. We don't kick the GM immediately. Oh, yeah. Okay, so no, yeah, I should be running this check. Right, because, like, stuff can still be happening even when the GM is gone, because if the GM, like, gets accidentally disconnected, like, they have, like, a minute to reconnect, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. So it's not that big a deal. And just in these cases, we'll say if GM name in player set, then we say these things. Otherwise, we just don't even say these things. And we never have to we never have to unset GM display name because it's not a thing anymore. I mean, it just doesn't have an effect on anything anymore. So again, if GM name in oops, I put this in the wrong place. Oh wait, no, that was the right place. Okay, if GM name in player set, then we will do this stuff. And then right. So the reason I wanted to get rid of GM display name is that with GM display name, I would need to update it, like when the GM's name updates. But there's not a good way to do that. Like it'd be really like janky to go about it that way. So instead of caching out something that we know will need to get updated, we'll instead just reference the value that will stay updated. So is that all the references? No. No, of course there are a million more of them. Okay, in this case though, this is the set where Trusty Bard is replying directly to the GM. And so in this case, we just added the player to the game, so we know that we have not processed the removal yet. So in this case, we don't have to special case it, all of these things, because these are literal replies to the GM, wherein we know that the GM exists, at least for this frame. Like maybe the GM will disappear in the very next frame, but at least for this frame, we know that that player is in the player dictionary. Yes. Okay. This will probably be most of the rest of them. Maybe all the rest of them. Yep. Good. And we're good. Cool. Alright, so did that. Done and done. And done. Oh, the script's still down? Wow, why has the script been down for so long? I guess because I just left it in a place where it couldn't run. Or I just got distracted. One of those things. Some combination of those things. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's just drag this down here real quick and make it look weird for a second. There we go. Yeah, that's some weird looking Trusty Bard. Alright, and then I'm probably going to be restarting the script a lot today, probably, but I'm going to bump up the run process priority anyways, just because. Okay. So, what do I do now? I guess the next thing, right? I did all those things that I was supposed to be doing. And so now I will do the next thing. Alright, so scale, adventure, speed, adventure, spacing, and name tag height. I might name tag height might be different. I might do name tag height differently. Um, hmm. Because yeah, like before I do, or maybe before I do that, because like name tag verticality and 2D collision is like the name tag height thing. It's like it's an alternate solution to like scaling name tag height. Um, the way it works now is that the name tags only check collision laterally. Like they only check like is there a name tag next to them that's going to take up too much space. But name tags all move up at the same rate. So hypothetically, if the name tag nearby, the name tag nearby had already moved high enough up that the next name tag could appear underneath it, like that would also be valid. So we wouldn't get much gain, we wouldn't get much benefit out of this with the name tags as they are currently, because the name tags as they are currently don't move up very high or very fast. How come are just none of the name tags showing up? Did I just like break name tags? No. Oh, that player. That player's name tag still shows up. That player's not actually supposed to be in the game, so I'm not gonna like restart the script right now. But I'm going to remove that player so that next time the script runs, it doesn't have that player's not in the game. Okay. Is it? Wait. Okay. No. Other name tags are showing up. I guess I just can't see them on my unless I have the yeah. Yeah, they don't move up very fast, so uh, maybe I'll play with that a little bit. I should play with it in like a separate copy of the script though, uh, because I don't want to constantly be restarting the script. Okay, so yeah, let's go. So we have Journey. This is the copy of the script that we're currently running. So let's do Journey. Uh, Journey like edits or something. I don't know. Whatever. And then I'm mostly called Journey Orig. Because like whenever I'm working in two copies of the script at the same time, I like to keep like a copy that I can diff from. So that way like once I'm done, like, because I'm probably going to be like if I'm running Journey as like the main version of the script that's running, and I'm working on edits as like this other thing where I'm toying with other things, like eventually I want to mush them back together, and it's just like it's just convenient to have like the version I can diff from, just to get those clean diffs like really easy. All right, so Journey edits .py. So let's yeah, so this file open this one Journey edits, and so I'll say this one is not the original, so yes, that's fine. So we'll say false here, and then so if I run, oh yeah, so let's go down to trusty where it adds in the players, and let's add in a bunch of other players too. Oh yeah, uh, I guess, huh? Um, I don't know. Which I'll just use like whatever players, I guess. I don't know. Uh, uh I don't know. I guess that'll be fine. Whatever. Uh, all right. So I'll just use like these characters, I guess, and I just need like realistic sized name tags, I guess, is all I really need. So uh, this will probably be fine for testing purposes for now. Um, and right, so if I run this, then it'll just look like it usually looks like. It'll just look like the game usually looks. Where oops, what? Invalid syntax. Oh, I forgot the colon at the end. Yep. And then so if I run this, I made this I made this not the real version of the script. This is not the original version. Alright, so it just marches the players across the screen as usual, and so it'll show their name tags, and so it'll like wait to show name tags, right? So it shows Binry's name tag, but then doesn't show the player next to Binry. It shows the one after the player next to Binry, and then once that one clears, the one between Binry, yeah. So now so like it does it like in this like order because it's like waiting, and it's still yeah right. So it just waits like a long time to like show name tags. So I think what I want to do is I want to bump up the speed. Uh, um, yeah. So let's say hmm. This does make like the collision checking a bit more complex because I'm literally like I'm just doing 1D like one dimensional collision checking so far, and like this will literally be two dimensional collision checking. Like that's literally what's changing. So all right, let's say for li in no, where am I going? So let's go to let's go to name tag speed for one thing because I'm gonna bump that up. Name tag speed, so 1.25. Let's bump it up to like, I don't know, 1.75 or something. And then that also, it doesn't necessarily scale with the height, so I want to set the height up to like, I don't know, like 35 maybe. Whoops. 35 instead of 25. So now if I run this, the name tags are going to like go up faster and higher too. They'll just like translate vertically a lot faster. And they should stay on the screen for like roughly the same duration. They'll just like, all right, well that's not hugely faster. That's still pretty leisurely. So maybe I should bump it up a little higher. So let's try like, I don't know, like 2.75. That's like almost twice as much as it was before. No, there's more than twice as what it was before. And then so like the height, I guess I'll put it up to like 45 maybe. I don't know, this might be too much. Like, it might be that I don't actually even want to go in this direction. But I think I kind of do. I'm pretty sure I kind of do. Maybe this is something that'll scale. Yeah, so maybe, maybe like, maybe I'll, because like I don't want the name tags to be like shooting up off the screen like unnecessarily. Wow, this still doesn't feel like it's going very fast. So maybe that's fine. Maybe that's good then, because I don't want it to like be going too fast. But like now they translate upward a distance such that like we don't have to wait as long to show the next ones. We can just check if the neighboring name tags are like sufficiently up and away. The difference though is that because we are now doing this 2D collision checking, like it used to be the case that we only had to check left or right far enough to find someone whose name tag was showing up. Now we have to check left and right, not just for the first person whose name tag is showing up, but like for basically anyone whose name tag could be colliding. And I guess maybe I'll do that as like a function of well, I don't know. Like, because there is an upper limit, hypothetically. I mean, the player with the longest name would be like capital W, capital W, capital W, capital W, capital W, capital W, like 25 capital W's in a row. And there could be just players with really long names. So like, I don't necessarily want theirs to clip. Maybe it's not so bad to just look over the entire. Yeah, maybe it's not so bad to just look over the. Oh wait, no. Yeah. No, we'll just look over like the entire parade. Like, I don't like that necessarily. It'd be better not to have to do that, but worst case scenario, that's like really not so bad. So, um, let's do what then? I miss name tags. There was a brief time where I could actually see players' name tags, and now I retooled stuff, and now I can't see players' name tags anymore. Uh, those were good times. Our name tags are still showing up, right? Okay, yeah. No, they're just showing up really high up, and so I'm not seeing them. Because I'm not seeing them, I'm like paranoid that like. Wait, I don't know. These name tags look like they're starting too high up, like the ones in the real script right now. Why are they starting that high? I guess because when they have the second line of text, then yeah. I mean, I could change that. I could make it so that they only start high if they have the second line of text. Because like when the second line of text isn't there, like it just I don't know. I guess it's fine. Like it's not literally a problem. I just like I don't know. Oh, maybe I changed the. Did I change like the layout of my IDE? Like maybe I just like Oh yeah, maybe I just like resized this window, or maybe that was the problem, or something. I don't know. Whatever. I like seeing name tags, because that's how I can tell who levels up. um, so yeah. So when we're checking for clear, so when we're checking whether a name tag is clear, uh, oh, you know what? This player named 1, he's gonna level up. He or she is gonna level up, but he's supposed to be level 1. Whatever, that's fine. All right, so let's go to the place where we check whether name tags are clear. So clear equals true, and then we say for fi in range of I length parade. So like we check from the player's position to the end of the parade. We check if the if we're not colliding, then wait, why do we do? Okay, yeah, we check if they're not colliding, because if they're not colliding, then that's fine. And wait a second. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, no, because right. First we just check for the first one where the first situation where a player is like too close. Huh. And so what do we want to do now instead? We want to say if we have to be a little more careful. We can't just break as immediately. We have to say so actually I'm gonna leave that how it is, and I'm gonna like rewrite something new, and then I don't know. We'll see. Uh, so we have to say what is it that we're looking for? We're looking for a collision. So we'll say if G player dictionary, yeah, G player. So like a lot of this math will be the same, and then so we'll say if G player dictionary index li dot cur. Sorry, just 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. um, all right, so current position. Li dot current position. So we're checking our current position, like the current position of the player, versus pause. Current position of the player versus the current position of this adjacent player. So we're checking the width between these characters, and specifically, we need to check that with regard to. Actually, maybe this is fine. Maybe I can just keep this entire term here. I mean, I have to like. Well, I can keep the math, but then like, because this is still how we check for lateral collision. The difference is that we're not breaking. Yeah, because that's the functional difference. Is that like just because we clear this one doesn't mean we're good. Um, so so we'll say so yeah. Let's just so it's the maximum between NT width minimum and the sum of the name widths divided by 2 plus 10. Oh, 10 is like the buffer. So yeah, let's do this the other way around. We'll say if it's less than, if the distance is less than that value, then we'll say clear equals false, and we'll break. Yeah. So I can these are basically like OR cases. Oh wait. Oh no no. Oh no no no. Oh right. It's because actually no. This is only if Right. Actually no. We can restructure. We can yeah. So I'll restructure this. Instead of the first thing that we'll check is if this player's name tag equals 2. Oh wait. Why is this fi? Why do we use li and fi? Oh fi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Li is the player in question. Fi is the adjacent players that we're checking. Okay. So if yeah, so we actually like if a nearby player's name tag not equals 2, then that means their name tag isn't actually showing up right now, and so we don't have to care about them at all in terms of this checking. So only in the case that yeah that's showing up at all do we even need to check. And then so then the other case though that we have to check is if oh wait no, and it's not even. Oh yeah yeah okay no, it's not even that like just hitting this condition means that clear equals false anymore. No, because the next condition that we have to check is if and like technically this could be like the same conditional probably. I can like put them as like an and case, but it's just like it's already spilling over the line, so I'm holding off on that for just a moment. I'm just going to start retyping it here, and then maybe I'll merge them together or something, because it's also if so now we have to care about the name tag heights, right? Because like, what are the heights of the uh, name tags, and like, what is that margin now too, right? Because like, I guess now we yeah, what is the height of the name tag like relative to like because we know what the height of the font that we're using to blit the name tag, we know what that height is, but then we don't. So I have to brush up on what is like the spacing and what is the like total height when there are like two lines, and then figure out like what we want the margin to be and stuff like that as well. So, um, so let's say uh, oh, you know what? Because you know what else we could do is it just occurred to me. I don't know if this is necessarily going to save time per se, because what's going to happen is like there's going to be like kind of a cascade of name tags where like the first one will show up and it'll move upwards, and then the next one will show up and it'll move upwards, and then the next like the third one is going to like whereas the third one used to show up sooner because like it used to go like that the first one would show up, then the third one would show up, and then like the fifth one would show up, and then the second one would show up, and then the fourth one would show up because like it did like that weird staggering. Um, it might just be that the only change here is that now they go in order, but they're still kind of as blocked. The other thing I could do is instead of checking for lateral collision, I could just I could well I mean like yeah, I would still be checking for lateral collision, but the difference wouldn't be like whether or not to show the name tag. The difference could be how high vertically to start the name tag. So like if the I mean I could make it so that the name tags just don't even like translate like vertically. I can make it like right now they drift like upwards a little bit, which I kind of like, but I mean I could just have them fixed at one height and then whenever we need to show a new one, put it at like a different height such that they both fit. Um, huh. It might get well. So one thing that's happened in the past is that like sometimes it's not entirely clear whose name tag corresponds to like or like which name tag corresponds to which player. So maybe I should go with like the 2D collision instead. Or like I don't know, maybe like this 2D collision idea isn't actually going to save much time. So maybe I should just keep it how it is, I guess. Um, yeah. Is 2D collision actually going to help? Yeah, no, it will help. I feel like it probably will help. Probably. I mean, we'll see. Uh let's at least give it a shot, and then if we find out we don't like it, we can always just not do it. So right, so if I'm just gonna use temp values for now. I'm just gonna say if so if like if there's the potential to collide, then we'll check if so yeah, so it's gonna be now we'll look for G player dictionary, parade fi whatever blah blah, index index or no dot rather dot nt pause, right? Because we want to check if now we just want to check if this one's high enough. So we'll just say nt pause is greater than what do what do we start nt height at? Like what is like nt start height versus nt height or whatever, like those values that we have. NT start height is 165, and then it's off by 45 pixels. What is the height of this character set? Let's just say, for starters, let's just say, oh, it only goes up 45 pixels. Even like with this, even how we set it up here, 45 pixels doesn't feel like a lot of pixels. Maybe it is though. I'll just try like 20 or something. Because if it's significantly higher than 20, then like this might not be worth it actually. Oops. So let's go to fi. No, where's yeah, here we are. All right, so let's just say if it's greater than, so if name tab position is greater than, greater than or less than actually, because it goes in the, it takes in the negative direction. So less than nt start pause, start height, plus 20, minus 20. Minus 20. That was the new follower noise. Ima, welcome to the channel. Thank you for following. I just had to read your name a couple times just to make sure I got it right. All right, so we'll check. Yeah, so if this name tag has translated 20 pixels, oh wait, actually no. Right, no, we want to do this in the negative. So we want to say if it hasn't translated 20 pixels. So if it's actually still greater than, yeah, okay. Then we say clear equals false and we break. So let's do this basically both places. Right, because this is these are the same checks that we're running down here. So we'll just replace both of these with this conditional set instead. And see how this goes. So let's run this, and then so there's probably going to be a little bit of overlapping because I'm guessing 20 is not actually the correct number, but I just want to see like what this looks like in some regard, or like how this kind of works out, like how this works out as like a starting point, and like how I might want to change it. So right, so Trusty Bard, for some reason Trusty Bard's name tag doesn't like show up. Oop, that was a crash. Adventure graphics instance has no attribute nt pause. Oh, what is it actually? Nt height or something? What is or like pause nt or something? Oh, it's pause nt, not nt pause. Yeah, pause nt. Pause nt. Yeah. Okay. And good then. What? Oh, hey, Protospasm. Hey, that just reminded me. I apparently have a new. Oh, hey, look at this. Oh. Okay, so 20 is way off. It has to be way higher than 20, because like 20 is apparently sufficient, like roughly sufficient for like the single line name tags not to collide, but for the double line name tags not to collide. Yeah, I feel like this probably just isn't going to be helping. It's probably just not going to be a helpful thing. Because, like, Yeah, right. Like in order to get double line name tags not to collide, it's gonna have to be closer to like 45 or something like that. But 45 is like the overall translation of the name tags altogether. So that'll basically just mean that there's gonna be no difference. So maybe I mean I could try the other thing that I was talking about, how like the I could just have the name tags not move slowly upwards and just have them appear like at alternating heights as needed. Um, yeah. Uh, sure. Why not? Um, that's actually going to be an interesting change because right now which actually is probably going to be a good change because right now the name tags show up for a duration based on how fast they move and how far they move. Um, the the sorry, I'm gonna get I'm gonna distract myself for a moment to to fetch the new event that got submit. Yeah, just cause just cause if I don't do it now I might forget. Okay, so oh yeah, this one's not supposed to be random X. This is supposed to be vote X. So vote X is event type 3, and this is probably going to be a one-off. I guess we'll find out. Oh, this may be part of the cookie call. Sweet. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a part of a chain later on. But for now, okay. Lantern Eternity. That has a ring to it. Mysterious, sort of ominous, sort of. All right. So is this multi? No, it doesn't look not multi. So not multi. And then the setting. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the setting at some point. Okay. I think I saw the word branches. So that makes me think forest maybe. I'll see if that works later though. Alright, so then, right, so this is event type. Oh yeah, there's always like a neutral outcome. Oh no, wait, no. No, event. Oh. Oh, you know what, Protospasm? Event type random X is missing an outcome. So if it's vote X instead of random X, there's an outcome missing. Because whereas with event type random X, there's no such thing as like a neutral scenario. Like something will win in every Oh no, wait. Ah, yeah. Technically, there's a neutral outcome with event type vote X. So what'll happen now is that this is actually the case with like one of the other events. Like, I mean, if you give me the other outcome, I can just like plug it in here. But yeah, as it is now, they'll so in like so like it'll be really rare that this ever happens, but hypothetically, it can be the case that wow, these outcomes are all exactly the same length. Did you plan that? Did you do that intentionally? Like all of these outcomes have exactly the same number of characters in them. Um, um, yeah. So the like the prompt question for what this other outcome would be is like basically like what happens if the vote is split and basically everything fails? Like what happens if like yeah, what happens if it's like if there's no oh, they're all exactly 140 characters. Nice. uh, the yeah, so the missing outcome would just be like what happens if there's no agreement? Like what happens if players can't make up their minds? And again, it doesn't happen very often because like technically event type 3 doesn't even have this outcome, but now like technically in the game like you can actually shift the event type. Like players can actually shift to the event type as they play. And so it'll only actually ever show up in the case that players manage to shift to the event type and then also fail. if they shift the event type and then but then can't make up their minds, yeah. um, all right, but the rest of this should work. So uh, I can change this if it's not supposed to be the if it's not supposed to be the forest. I can always change this, but it says branches right here, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I like actually like getting to play events, and like I rarely ever get to do that, so I'm gonna all right. Oh, where am I? I'm in a strange place on my computer. Okay, projects, journey, game data. No, not game data. Sorry, events. I mean, it kind of should be in the game data folder, but whatever. This is Lantern. Excuse me. Lantern Eternity. Lanternity. No, sorry. Okay. Save that. I hope it doesn't have any weird special characters in it. Sometimes, like, Google Docs does that. It, like, inserts weird... I'm, like, not actually reading the text. I'm just, like, grazing my eyes across it to see if there is anything that stands out as, like, maybe a special character. Quotation marks are the ones that I know it does weird stuff with, but I'm not seeing any quotation marks, so... yeah, quotation marks, yeah. So I'm going to say this is maybe okay, and I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay. So, we're on the same page. I mean, like, some portmanteaus, like, you just have to, you just have to say them, right, just to get them out of your head. Even if you don't plan on, even if you don't plan on, even if it's not a good portmanteau. Sometimes you don't know until you actually say it out loud, whether it's going to be, whether it's actually going to sound good or sound completely crazy. All right, so what was I doing? Yeah, so let's try the staggered approach to name tags, I think. I don't know. Because that's like, maybe that'll be like the best way to, like, just have like two separate tiers of like name taggageness. I don't know. Maybe like this is all just like a not thing I should be doing. Like maybe this is all just like not really worth the effort. So, um, yeah. Is there something more? Is there something higher priority I should be attending to? Probably. Because I know I need to fix the secret panel multi events. I know I have to. Oh, I want to do more energy levels. Yeah, and I need to do the messaging all energy level changes in batch. Oh, you know what this is actually going to be though? Is hold on, let's get rid of this one because what I'm actually going to be doing here is not what it sounds like. I'm going to make a message all energy level changes in batch. No, I'm gonna separate graphics messages into priority uh, uh, priority stacks or something. Like basically, like there are some messages that come through to the graphics thread that are higher priority than others. Typically, it's the difference between like like game state based messages versus like player state based messages. Because player state based messages, we can handle those on an ongoing basis. But the game state ones, like those ones, kind of have to come through in a timely fashion. So yeah. It was just occurring to me, I could go back to using like originally I was thinking like maybe instead of using a list for these messages as they come in, I could use like a dictionary for the players, and I might want to go back to that because I was just thinking like yeah, like the nice thing about using a dictionary instead of using a list is that instead of like having duplicate entries, like each player would be in there like once. Oh, the downside is that I guess I don't know exactly what would be the correct order to like go through and like clear those entries out though. I mean, I guess I could do that in list order. I could keep a list and the diction. I could keep the list just to keep track of like which order to go in, and then I could keep the dictionary. Yeah, I might want to do something like that. So yeah, that is higher priority. Then the name tag verticality and 2D collision. Yeah, because like there actually wasn't even any real problem with it. So actually, I'm gonna put the name tag verticality and 2D collision thing. I'm just gonna put that into limbo, and like maybe I'll get to it someday. But I don't think it doesn't have like the amazing savings that it doesn't like fix anything basically. so so yeah, this journey edits thing, I might just like, because I haven't made any fixes here that other than like what I started to do there. So I might just like scrap this and like start over with the edit stuff, or just hold Control Z until we get back to how it was to begin with. Yeah, because there's less processing involved with the way that we're currently checking name tags. So actually no, you know what's one thing that occurred to me when I was changing that logic though, is that right now we only check for the adjacent player. But hypothetically, you could actually collide name tags with a non-adjacent player. Like you could collide name tags with a player that's like further out in the list, or like yeah, right. Because like if someone has like a really long name tag, especially if I toy with player spacing, like if I like put the players closer together, then that could definitely happen. So actually, I think I will want to make that change real quick. So yeah, let's go to like pause NT, the place where we're dealing with all this stuff, and then or clear particularly. So when we're dealing with clear, yeah, we won't just break immediately. I don't think. We'll check. So if yeah, we won't break here, will we? I feel like there should be a point at which we break, because there should be like a maximum width for the name tags. Like we have the minimum width. So yeah, maybe I should just come up with a maximum width value as well. So like NT width minimum. Where do we define this? NT width minimum equals text width of that. Yeah, so I'll just say like NT width maximum equals the text width of like www. It's 5 of them, so like 25 of these. Like copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this should hypothetically be the longest name, because W's are just really wide, and yeah, so we won't check further than the maximum width. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back down here. So we'll say if so yeah, what do we say? So if G okay, so we'll spin this around. If the players are too close together. Oh, you know what? Again, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do all this crazy checking. Like, I don't know why we don't check name tag 2 first. Like, because we only have to do any of this checking if name tag, like if name tag equals 2. Yeah, so that's like just kind of like a silly way to have set this up in the first place. So if name tag blah 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 2, then we do any of this at all. So we can get rid of this. And then so if so yeah, it used to be the case if the first one we hit was clear, then we didn't worry about it anymore. Oh wait, no, we can still stop with the first one that's clear. We can still stop at the first one that's clear. Yeah, okay, so right, yeah, because if name tag equals 2, we don't have to worry about hitting a, right, once we find name tag equals 2 and we determine that that one's clear, then we can break. However, we're not going to, if the name tag doesn't equal 2 and it's, you know, then we're not going to break immediately. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to say if G player cur pause blah blah bling blong. So actually, this should be else if. Yeah, else if. Actually, no. Actually, just do this first. So yeah, I'll just say like I'll say like psep equals the distance between the players equals this here, and then uh oh, wait a second. How come how come I do the subtraction? Oh no, I do the subtraction in the other order. Oh yeah, yeah. So I have to remember I have to do the subtraction in the other order for the other version of this. Okay, so player separation equals the distance between the players. So first we'll say if player separation is greater than uh, the what is it nt width maximum. And like the maximum is actually too high. I could probably like tone down the I could probably tone down that maximum, because technically that maximum would only apply if both players' names were maximum width. But like not literally both players can have the name www. Yeah, so I could probably scale that back a little bit. But okay, so if player separation is greater than nt width max, then break. Because that means we're just automatically clear. And then otherwise, if the name tag blah blah blah, then we'll check if psep, which is we now like we're calculating psep to be this same value, so we don't have to recalculate this part of it. And then yeah, so then we can check that, because then right, because if psep right, so if psep is less than the if psep is less than this value, that's the case where clear equals false. And we can break, because we know that it's in fact we're not in a position where we can show this player's name tag. Okay. So down here, let's do psep. We calculate it slightly differently. Excuse me, just because with subtraction, in order to end up with a positive number, you have to put the bigger one first. And so in this case, fi, parade index fi is the higher position on screen. So we subtract that. We subtract the li from fi. And then, but the rest of it's the same, actually. The rest of it, after we subtract it in that order, we can then, the rest of it, it'll be as such. Yeah. Okay. So, hypothetically, what I just changed should have no effect on the game. The game should just still run like normally. And that's fine, because that's all I was trying to do. Yeah. Right. Because I'm going to come back and do other stuff later, I guess. Maybe. Like, I can come back to the verticality and blah, blah, blah. I can do that later if I want to. Alright, so what is that? That is not. That is not. Okay, what is... so scaling, adventure... Yeah, no, I was thinking... Yeah, so to separate the graphics messages, this is actually higher priority, so I should be doing that first. Scaling the adventure, speed, spacing, NT height, like, that's cool and all, but like... Oh, you know what? Actually, first I'll fix this, because this is just a legit bug. Then I'll do this, because this is higher priority, and then I think I want to do the more energy levels next. Switch multi to max actions is currently broken. I don't think it's currently broken, but I do need to switch multi to max actions. So maybe I should do both of those first. Yeah, these are kind of related too. Okay, so maybe I'll fix that up first. Then I'll do the graphics messages and priority stacks, and then more energy levels. Yeah, optional. This is supposed to be optional text. From secret panel when calling event midtime, like that's easy. I can do that if I want to. But yeah, I won't worry about those things yet. Okay. Secret panel, multi-events, max actions. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the secret panel. And like where we create events with the secret panel. And yeah. No. Okay. So new ev max actions equals the length of new ev. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right, because I'm not accounting for adlib here. Right. Right. I have to say, so I have to say if new ev adlib, so if new ev adlib, then new ev dot max actions equals 3. Otherwise, it equals the length of else it equals the length of max actions, or the length of actions. Yeah, and I I don't know. The next thing I'm going to do is going to change. The next thing I do will be to change that entirely. So uh, that'll be fun. Um, oh, cool. Oh, great. I get to write a script to go update all the event data that I currently have. Because yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, I guess I don't have to. No, I should. Uh, yeah, I should. Okay. Basically, no. You know what I'm just gonna do instead? I'm just gonna for the ones that I have currently for the events that I have currently written, I'm just gonna go through and all the ones that say multi equals one, I'm just gonna change ones to threes, and we're gonna change zeros to ones. So that's weird. I'll have to make sure I get it right the first time, otherwise it'll get a little screwed up. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, max actions. It's just gonna be. Oh, did I ever? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll hold off on that because like the thing that I haven't like figured out is like how to get a chat GM to how yeah for like right now like a chat GM can declare an event multi just by saying like square braces multi at the end of the event. Um, oh, whoa, huzzah, three! What's up with that? Huzzah, three! I know what's up with that. Yeah, I know what's up with that. I just forgot to I forgot to put that together correctly. So I should probably fix that real quick. It's not that it's urgent. So yeah, no, I'll hold off on fixing that, or I won't bother integrating that to the main script because it just goes across the screen once and then we never see it again. No, that was right. That was because sorry, just to distract myself real quick. Yeah, and actually this part is like mostly fixed. So uh, where was that? That was in growth, not init growth, but just like yeah, growth. That was where we say graphics message put right. So say quote. Um, wait. Oh yeah, right. Because we're just putting up say quote, but say quote doesn't have like this plugged onto it as well. Uh, so I guess I'll just say say quote plus equals adventures and then say lines index one. Uh, uh, and then yeah, right. So for both of these things, we can just then use say quote. We don't have to yeah. Okay. Um, all right, and then that was easy enough. Um, so maybe I will hold off again on switching multi to max actions. Why did I think this was like a priority? Like why did I put it in the to do list? I think because it was in the past. Oh no, it was just creeping me out that there are still references to multi, which I guess is fine for now. Maybe I'll just take a breeze through. Maybe like if I look at the references to multi that I have lingering, I'll be re-inspired to like make it do other things or whatever. All right, that one's fine enough. Multi, yeah, that's fine enough. Um, multi, yeah, sure. Uh, oh yeah, this is when we're loading in the data. Uh, yep. So we're loading in participation data. Yeah, I was like, I'll have to change the format of participation data as well with multi. Um, and instead of updating all the old data, I think I'll just like get rid of all the old data and like just put the rest of the stuff in clean. Um, yeah. So curve multi, intro string multi. Yeah, yeah, multi. The thing is, so like when I change like the max actions thing, huh. I don't know how I want to indicate that. But like right now, like if the event is adlib, Trusty Bard says choose your own action. I was thinking like if the event is multi, Trusty Bard would say something like, or so if the so the right so multi it used to just be like multi or not multi. If not multi, you could only choose one action, but if multi, you could choose any number of actions. Now the way it works is actually there's like a concept of max actions, and so like multi events we just converted them to you like to just be. So if there are two actions, then you can choose two actions. If there are three actions, you can choose three actions. So we're not actually using it yet, but technically there's an event type where there can be three available actions, but you can only choose two of them. Like your max actions is two, even though that there are three actions available. So I was thinking uh, uh, yeah, like so instead of just saying like choose your own actions, like this text would like be variable, right? Like and it would try and like convey like how the event works. So like in AdLib it would say choose your own actions. So like if the max actions was two, instead of just saying like multi, it would say like choose any two actions, or like choose up to two actions or something like that. Or like choose up to three actions, if the um uh but then so then it could be like multi and AdLib, and then I guess it would say like so maybe it wouldn't say like choose your own actions. Like maybe it would be like make up an action or something like that. Or like because like I'd want to say like choose up to uh wait no uh yeah no I don't know exactly what the wording would be, but yeah I just like right now like the multi tag, like if you know what multi means, then you know how to interact with an event that's multi. And if you don't know what that tag means, then it's just like a little bit like dense, a little opaque. I guess I still haven't worked out exactly how I want to convey that information. So I guess for now it's actually fine to just leave it as multi. One of the nice things about multi is that it's if you don't understand how multi works, that's actually fine. Like there's no disadvantage really. I mean like technically multi is like a tool, and you can use multi to accomplish things that you couldn't accomplish necessarily without multi. Um, but sorry, if you see me staring up just up in this direction, there's I think a spider just like hanging out, just chilling, just like I assume it's a spider because I don't know what else can like hang like that distance from the ceiling on like an invisible strand. Uh, so I'm just saying hi to my new spider friend, my new roommate. No, when I'm not streaming, I'll 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 introduce him to a small cup house, and I'll bring that cup house outside and set him free. I just like he's really weird shaped. He or she is really weird shaped. He's like really boxy and like yellow. Maybe it's like a kernel of corn. Maybe it's not actually a spider. Maybe somehow a kernel of corn. Maybe it's the ghost of a kernel of corn that died in this very room and now has come back to haunt. No, that can't be a spider. That's way too weird shaped. All right, I'll stop getting distracted. What were we doing? Um. Okay. So I fixed this, and then this I'm gonna wait on, because there are other things I'd rather do. Uh, Separate graphics message. Oh, did I finish? Did I finish like the spin through? I think it was the participation thing. Like when I noticed that participation still used multi, that was like when I was like, but I don't care because I haven't like ripped out multi. The system now runs like on max actions, but uh, excuse me. Um, uh, so yeah, no, it's not actually harmful to have multi. I okay, sorry. The yeah, so that should be fine. It's a little weird, but it's not harmful. Um, Separate graphics messages into priority stacks. Yeah, this is something that I want to do. So it's basically like for all these messages, for all these graphics messages. Uh, graphics uh, messages messages.get uh, um, the yeah, basically for all of these messages now, I'll want to decide which ones are urgent and which ones are not, and it should be fairly straightforward. Um, yeah. Okay, so yeah, how are we gonna do this? So right now we're just saying like ng messages dot append graphics blah blah blah. But instead, let's say so like so like like so we'll just say like n message no, we'll just say like next or like n pop or whatever. I don't care. Uh, equals we'll fetch the graphics messages and then we'll say so we'll say if like if npop if npop index 0 equals, and then what are the priority ones? So add player, no, not remove, not add player, not remove player, not energy level, not add experience, action tags. That's an important one. So action tags, oops, not uppercase, action, or so we'll say if npop index 0 in action tags or action tags or event status. That's an important one. Event status. Event status. Name tag status. No. Lurking. No. Screen text. That's an important one. Screen text teleport. Screen text teleport. Yeah, I think those are all of them. I might put ban. I might put ban higher on the list. Yeah, ban might be on the priority queue. So screen text teleport ban. Because ban is technically a player-specific action, but it's an important player-specific action. So, yeah. Okay. So, action tags, event status. I forget what the other one was. It was teleport. It was something, and then it was teleport, and then it was ban. Screen text. Screen text, of course. Okay. Screen text. Screen space text, not underscore text. Okay, so if it's one of these, then we'll say ng messages dot append and pop. But the rest of them are player specific. So for the rest of them, I guess I guess I'll just use a secondary queue. So it'll be so it'll just be else ng. I was just thinking like maybe there's some ways that we can like simplify this process by like pre-compiling some of this data, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna handle it the same way we've been handling it. So do I want to do that though? No, you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will use a dictionary, because the thing is, like, I kind of want to. I don't want to show characters like in weird states. So like basically, I'll want to like I'll want to process like everything that happens to a character before I send that character across the screen. So, yeah. So the else case will be so yeah, so it's not gonna be, so it'll need a separate queue other than ng messages. It'll be like ng like messages player or something. Player. Oops, why do I keep adding 2 underscores? Don't add 2 underscores, not 2 underscores. All right. So it'll be ng messages player dot append, and then it might just be the name of the player. Yeah, it might just be. Is this gonna be like? I don't know. This could get ugly. Oh, I'll need to make a player set because I'll need to be able to check if the player's in the player dictionary. I guess that's fine. Um, or no, I don't have to check if the player's in the player dictionary. All I'd really have to. No, I just have to check the length of the player dictionary entry. Um, I don't know. This is like kind of a big change, so I'm not 100% that I actually want to make it because it's like I mean it feels like added like computation on the graphics thread, which is just something that in general skeeves me out a little bit. So, um, I mean, another thing I was thinking of doing previously was like, no, this is fine. 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 Is this fine? I'll try it, and maybe it's not gonna be fine, but we can always switch back if we don't like it. All right, so ng messages player.append. So in this case, we're actually gonna append. So whenever we have a player specific message, the player's name is index. The player's name is index 0 or like 1 or something. Um, Oh, that's the other reason we don't have to worry about whether the player is actually in the player dictionary or not. Because these messages, if handled chronologically, which they will be handled chronologically, will automatically have it so that the player, yeah. Okay. Cool. So ng messages underscore player dot append. What is it? So it's ng message or npop npop index 1. Because ng message index 1 is always the player's name. I hope. And if it's not that way, whoops. All right, actually, let me just take a quick check. ng message index 1. There's always ng message index 1. So an add player, yeah. So like G player. Oh yeah. So I mean, another way to do it is if we could check all the places that we reference G player dictionary, because we should always be indexing it. Like anytime we're referencing G player dictionary or indexing G player dictionary in here, we should be indexing it by ng message index 1. So yeah, ng message index 1. Oh, whoa. If ng message in G player dictionary, no, that's not okay. That is not appropriate. Oh no, why am I doing this so often? Dirty gross. Okay, I need a G player set, apparently, because that's dirty gross. So G player dictionary. So G player set. Why am I checking if all those players are in the G player dictionary? I guess I'm not keeping close track of that stuff. Anyways, yeah, no, yikes, gross. Okay, so G player dictionary. So we have to go down to add player, and whenever we add a player to the G player dictionary, we also have to add it to the player set. So G player set dot add ng message index 1. Ng message index 1. Okay, and then when we remove a player, we have to remove it. So remove player if ng message. Oh, okay. So right. So there are two places that we do this. We do G player dictionary dot pop here, and then we also do it if the part message. Yeah. So G player set dot remove ng message index 1, and then so then the other case is here when we pop here. So we also say G player set dot remove ppop in this case. Pop. No, just kidding. Okay, right, yeah, because I don't like the term in GPlayer dictionary is really gross, and I mostly want to get rid of it. So let's find all the places where I might be saying that. So like wait, if blank and blank or blank. Yeah, so this is so most of these places that we're saying this will instead want to be saying in GPlayer sets. Set, yeah. And this is all in the